Thank you. So kind. Your words are so kind. Every time I sing that song, I get the shakes. I'm like, oh. And I feel like 10 pounds just comes off my chest. People ask all the time, what was your favorite song to write? And I think that might be one of them. I think so. I love it so much. I wrote it with this guy. He's my producer, Paul Mabry. So special. I actually never really talked about this except for when people ask about it. But you didn't ask, so I'm going to tell you.
Tell us about it.
But it's one of my favorite songs for so many reasons. One, I can tell you the comical version or the serious version. Both. It started with me sitting on the toilet. And it ended with us basically in tears, and he wasn't in the bathroom while I was on the toilet. It was a very much different time. But, gotcha. On that to say though, I was so worn out. I was like, why on earth did I book a co-write on an off day? I was so tired. And it was one of those days where I was like, God, please just let a song fall from the sky. I need one of those moments. And I went in and I saw this picture of a girl who was desperate, and she was in the process of holding on to all of these vices, whether it was drugs or alcohol or people or whatever, just to get through to the next day. And Jesus walked down the hallway, and she was wrestling, she was in turmoil because she didn't want to be identified by her actions, which is something we all find ourselves at one point or another. And Jesus walks down the hallway and he comes and he sits next to her. And he looks at her and he says, hey girl. He says her name. And she said, I knew someone saw me for who I actually was. I knew someone would come and rescue me and see me for who I am outside of all of these things. And I think that's the beauty of who God is. He doesn't try to fix or manipulate or negotiate. He actually just comes, and that's why he's the savior of the world. That's why they call him not the fixer of the world, because he comes and he saves. He sits next to us in the middle of our brokenness, in the middle of our shame, in the middle of our weakness, and he identifies with who we are as a person, as a human. And I think that's so beautiful. So all that to say, I got this chorus and it was, love will send out an army to find you. In the middle of the darkest night, it's true, love will rescue you. And when we went in, when we brought it to him, he said, you know, you might want to consider singing, I will rescue you. And me and my stubbornness was like, no, love is the most potent thing in the world. Remember that?
Yes.
And he said, you know, you could just say, I think if you sit with it a little longer, you might actually like it. And we recorded it. He didn't let me record the word love. He only let me record the word I. And it was in that demo. And the demo ended up being what you all hear today. It's the same vocal from that exact day. So it's really special. I love that song. I don't know if I've ever told that story from stage like this, but yeah, it was meant for tonight. There you go. I know, that's what I say sometimes. He said, you know, love can be a hurtful thing sometimes for people. You know, if you have someone who's a father who's walked out on you, or if you have a mother who's rejected you, or there's so many different ways that love looks like it has failed, then when you identify love as this rescuing force, it doesn't work, it doesn't make sense. So I was super grateful that you changed that.
Well, thank you.
I love it. Yeah, the brain. Okay, so I'm gonna drink this tea. They put an arrow on the spout so that I know where to drink from. They deduced me to almost not human reasoning. I'm putting arrows on my sippy cup. Anyway, I'm kidding. Thank you, Austin. You let me drink properly. Anyway, I'm gonna get the giggles up here. Y'all, every time I sing This Girl, I have a really hard time not cracking up. For the past 3 times I've sang it, I have a hard time not just laughing through the whole song. Anyway, it's very serious. So I heard that you met my friend Blake earlier with Food for the Hungry.